Hi everybody, my name is Roy Diblik. I'm co-owner of Northwind Perennial Farm. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been growing perennials for 41 years. I started in 1978, and prior to that I was an outdoor ed teacher. My background is in outdoor education, and I work with kids in the city of Chicago. So that was my simple beginning and my most exciting beginning, because I have to say, I don't think I was ever hugged more in my life than when I worked with those children in Chicago. And as that program ended in 1977, I began a career growing perennials. And we grew everything in the ground. We put them in little beer flats and charged 50 cents a plant. And at that same time, I got interested in native plants and started growing native prairie in 1979. And then in 1991, I created my own business with two wonderful friends, Northwind Perennial Farm, up here in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And that's where we're at right now. And since that time, I've had so many wonderful opportunities that were created by learning and understanding and coming to know plants. And that's the experiences I'd like to share with you, because I think the YouTube channel gives me an opportunity not just to live within my own world, but to share the beautiful experiences, the people I've met, and the joy of understanding and knowing plants and plants involved in your world. And simply, I have a way of looking at things, and I don't know how it got created, but I call it a participation economy. It's not just a business of making money and wanting something to want something and have something to have something and buy something to buy something, but it's more of an investment in you, in yourself, in your way of being, your way of loving, your way of living. And that is so enhanced by the joy of understanding and living with plants and creating situations for plants to be in wonderful communities and wonderful social systems that encourage and enhance the future of our health and well-being in our own world. And I look at that as it's not return on investment, but it's return on involvement. It's how involved can you get within your own life and that of your community to create something beautiful. So where do we get started? We simply get started by, for me, a lot of my beginnings came from Wendell Berry. I can't go over all the things I've loved reading through his words, but there's a few things that just moved me so much, like two phrases called priceless and pricelessness. When I look at what he described as priceless, priceless is the fact that you have this moment on earth to share with others, that you understand the value of clean air, fresh water, the soil, the health of the soils. That's just priceless. Pricelessness is that old Chevy that nobody else has. That only one of those old Chevys still exists, or a diamond, one diamond that exists in the world that doesn't exist anywhere else. And the way he defined that, that has pricelessness. That has a value, but it doesn't have the same value that something priceless does, which is your own way of being and your own way of understanding to share that being with others. So, and the other thing I think I learned and came to know from Wendell Berry was, I call it thoughtfulness. Being free and thoughtful about a way to look at a way of life, not creating understanding of everything we have to do and making sure that we know this is how everything works, but looking at a way of being so that there's freedom to everything that we come into contact with. And we don't want to reduce that freedom to something captive. We want to keep that freedom at the greatest joy possible. So those are the ways I've come to know a way of working and living and sharing with others. And again, relating it to understanding and putting plants into play. And also, when I look at what is the value of health and beauty, how do we value something that seems to be so simple, yet something that we can easily take for granted by not quite understanding simply the way we treat ourselves when we look at, again, the consumption of things that really don't bring health and beauty into our lives. They may stimulate us for moment to moment, but those moments fade quickly. And then the other thing is coming to know, I think, when you look at what is the language of plants? What is it that plants are sharing every minute of every day with you? Whether it's a vacant lot, or whether it's a vegetable garden, an annual vegetable garden, a shrub border combined with perennials, a native prairie. All of these things plants are expressing to you as you walk by every moment of every day, how they live, who they live with, and how they want to share this relationship with you. And the other thing I'd like to talk about is coming to look at self-discovery. When we look at sometimes being told how to live, told what to do by people who are experts, I realize that a lot of the experts in life are just people that simply stopped asking questions. They've come to know something that they believe, but they've boxed themselves in, and without asking more and more questions, they've limited their capacity to be the constant intern. So when I look at what keeps me moving forward, it's the idea of being the constant intern and then sharing with people the things I know, and then not telling somebody what they should do, but find all that can be true to themselves through self-discovery. And that's what we're going to be looking at in this series of programs. Every minute that we have a program, every minute that leads some hours of programs, we're going to be talking to people, looking at plants, and looking at ways to create self-discovery within your own world.